There's one thing that people have not only complained to me about, but which I myself have said that Fujifilm needs to improve upon, and that is a high ISO performance. People that like shoot clubs or really low lighting events, this is an arena which Fujifilm does need improvement upon. And I've told people outright, no matter how much I love the Fujifilm system, I said, you know, are you shooting clubs or, you know, nighting events? And if so, then Fujifilm's not going to have the performance that you're, you know, you're going to get the best bang for your buck if that's what you're mainly shooting. However, it is the case that, you know, people don't really print that much anymore. I used to print all the time, but that was photography school and print for work. And have a couple of really large printers. But ink costs a fortune, we all know this. If someone's paying you to do it, that's fine. The real statement is that if you're posting to nothing but Flickr and Instagram, and or printing out only an 8x10 at most usually, or even you know, 20x30, do you really need that 40 plus megapixel sensor camera? If sensor performance, and it's not sensor performance, the image is clocked off the sensor and then processed by 80 converters and SNR firmware for noise. So the straight out of camera images we're talking about now, Sony and Nikon are pissing back and forth at each other. The Sony fanboys and the Nikon fanboys are pissing back and forth about, you know, at most a 3/4 stop of dynamic range. At most. It's like, hey, let's blow all these images up to you know, let's zoom in at 400%, and oh my god, at 400%, there's a slight difference. If it is the case that, and most people would agree, people that review photography gear will agree, it's like we're really talking about a hardcore hair splitting. At 400%, no less. If we're talking about a hardcore hair splitting, which we are, and this isn't my idea, then the statement must follow logically within your brain that, well, if we're only talking about a hardcore hair splitting at really high magnifications, then my next logical choice would be that if that's the case, then I should probably pick the system that has the best customer support, makes the best cameras, makes the best lenses, and that would be Fujifilm. It would be Fujifilm. It wouldn't be. I mean, it is. It wouldn't be, as in, you know, it could be, but it is Fujifilm. Loving the Nikon D850. Now, for example, I did some really hardcore crops, and of course it has the exact same pixel pitch as the Nikon D500, the D850 does, so when I was wonderfully using that 300mm phase 4 Fresnel lens out doing bird photography, and I really had to crop the absolute piss out of the shot, you know, that's something important. So if you have a specific need for incredible croppability or incredible low light performance, that is a given. That is a special requirement need. But if you are like 95% of everybody else, and we're only talking about splitting hairs at 400% between, you know, here's the Sony, here's the new Sony, here's the new Nikon, here's the new Fuji, you know, now we're splitting hairs at 400%, then your logical conclusion would be, as I just said, therefore I'm going to choose the best system with the best support, the best lenses, and who currently are making the best cameras, and that is Fujifilm. So logical necessity would require, if you work along that train of logic, and you don't have special requirements, which certainly some people do. It's like, well, I gotta have this system because it's got the best ISO performance. Hey, the Nikon D500, I mean, you shoot in your total darkness, performance is amazing. That's a special requirement. That's understandable. But for 95% of everybody else, the decision really should be the best system, the best made system, the best support, and the best current made lenses. And that is Fujifilm. That's not to say that Nikon doesn't still have some hardcore metal lenses made in Japan, which they certainly do, but it is a small percentage of the totality of that which they make. So the answer is Fujifilm. Thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, always click the link below, make a small donation, tell me to jump off a cliff, whatever makes you happy. I'm going to go out with a camera and take pictures. So people say, you don't take pictures. It's like, really, my face is sunburned. And in the past 48 hours, I've been shooting for 9 hours total. Yeah, I don't take pictures at all. Yeah, okay. Whatever.